And it takes a Elijah. It takes an Elijah, someone that's willing to stand up to say, hey, this right here and that, to bring it to our attention. So strongness, strong spirit of image and all the components that comes out of it. Anybody else? Anybody else? Somebody else? Let's talk about it, y'all. Don't sit on here and and because I know everybody got something.
Distractions.
Okay. So you're easily distracted, is what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the things that distract you. What is something that would distract you? So if you running well and you on course like you supposed to, tell me some of the things that distract you.
I don't know. It's just like it be. Sometimes I can be sitting in my room and I can be reading my Bible, and the phone may ring, or somebody may knock on the door or something, and instead of me letting them know that I'm in the process of reading my Bible, studying my word, or whatever, then I just go with the flow, and put it off and be like, well, I'll come back to that later. And then when later comes, something else will come up, and before I know it, it'll be a couple of days, and I still hadn't picked my Bible up. So that's something I'm working on, is commitment.
Hmm.
When I say I'm going to take some time, set aside time for prayer, for
Yeah,
studying my word,
but you gotta define. You gotta define the bottom line. Y'all gotta define the bottom line. You giving the symptoms. You talking the symptoms, but you gotta define the issue. Okay. So if you're there, you said distractions. Somebody comes with something. Part of that is people pleasing. That's one. That's part of that. If I were you, I would tackle that. I would pray about that when I pray about myself. Another part of that is there's an element of insecurity that's there, because insecurity won't let you speak up when you should. To say, well, I'm
I know
busy.
that.
I'm busy right now. See, that's what insecurity won't let you do. So all of that stuff groups together. It's all tied in together. That's people pleasing. That's insecurity. Okay. And then now, let me say this to y'all, because this one right here gonna hurt pretty bad, but it is the truth. We also house the spirit of a liar. That don't sound good, do it? But it's the truth. We also house the spirit of a liar. When we when we're not honest about something, casting it off into something else, that's the spirit of a liar. Delphine, do you like pork chop? No. But if I say, well, it's all right, go ahead. That's a lie. I know I don't like to eat pork. So it's it's the spirit of a lie. So it's coupled in there too with a lot of things that we do. We gotta be honest about it. The spirit of a liar, insecurity, all of that houses the spirit of a liar. And I can show you when it's in operation, you don't stand up like you should. It's insecure. So it means if you back off of it, literally lie. Do you like that? Yeah, it's all right. I like it. No, you don't like it. See, you lied. So we house the spirit of lying when we do that. And it's not the spirit of God. It is the spirit of the devil. And that's just being honest about it. It is the spirit of the devil. So then, to what degree have we actually got the devil out of us? To what degree? That's where we gotta. That's where we gotta examine ourselves. We gotta see how much of this joker is still in operation in my life. How much of it am I still doing? What am I still holding on to? How much of a foothold do he really have in my life? When you look at your life, look at it from a 0 to 100% and gauge yourself to see how much of this am I secured in God, and how much of this does the enemy have in operation? So, boom, I just told that lady that, that it was okay. That it was okay what she did, but I know deep down inside I don't like it. See, I just lied. How much of him is in operation? Jesus said when he come, he find none of him in me. That should be the place that we're working to get to, as to where when the enemy shows up, he cannot find none of him in me, because that association that he finds that he can hook to is going to be the very thing that he do like he did with Ahab and be mess around and be done drawn us out. We'll be got into some mess because we ain't handled the situations like we should. There's some more people on here. What your weakness is? What's going on? What your weakness is?
Hey, some of what I've been dealing with has already been addressed, listening and with others or whatever. But I do like the fact of I was, sitting thinking like that's some of the problem. I can only speak for me. I can't speak for others. That people is always like, saying, well, like you're giving examples. Well, this is insecurities, or this is people pleasing or whatever. But when we've been doing it and operating for so long, we we custom to it. It's like a norm. We're numb to it. We don't
Mm-hmm.
realize it and see it anymore. But
Mm-hmm.
then others come along and say, well, this is what this is. This is what this is. Instead of getting to the root and dissecting it to help us to grab it and fully understand it and deal with it and get it from the root of it, it's just like gonna be a constantly repeat of a cycle, or keep doing it because we're so accustomed of being numb, or it's our normal now. We're used to it and we really is not seeing it. So when others don't say, well, I really don't know or how to get rid of it, or this is what I got going on, some that's on the outside looking in, well, this is what this is, instead of just really getting to the root of it, instead of not getting aggravated and frustrated with the people, getting it to the root of it and just be like, okay, so this is the root of it. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
if it's people pleasing, this
Mm-hmm.
is how we're gonna dissect people
Mm-hmm.
pleasing.
Mm-hmm.
Am I making sense?
Mm-hmm.
That's
This is
what I have
how.
been dealing with over the years. People can easily quick say, well, no, this is not you. You look fine. You're not, nothing's wrong with you. You're okay. No, something is wrong. This is not normal. And I'm numb to it. And people just look over that, but you just can't keep saying, well, okay, Rhoda wants to quit smoking. Okay, so what's really the effect of why she keeps want to smoke, or what triggers her, to smoke? Or let's dissect it and get it from the root of it and dissect every little inch and every little bit of it to help the situation. So they're just saying, okay, so that's a trigger. You what triggered what emotion?
Mm-hmm.
Am I making sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's exactly it. You gotta get to the root of it. That's what I'm talking. That's why I'm talking to y'all. Because you gotta identify the root of it. If you don't identify the root of it, all you're gonna do is keep treating the symptoms. But the root of it gonna still be right there. And I can tell y'all this right here in all honesty. It when you have to admit it, it ain't easy. It ain't easy. I know, even like to have to say it out loud, in front of folk. I know it ain't easy. But you guess what? It'll bring the best freedom that you could ever have, because you ain't hiding no more. You're not hiding behind it no more. And we each are hearing what is being said. So then we know, because all of us are intercessors. So we know exactly how we need to pray. See, that now that y'all heard this, just use Rhoda for an example. Now y'all heard her say what the issue is that she has. Okay, well, when you do your prayer and you praying, over the family of Trim, then you know that that's something that you horn in. Father, we thank you for strengthening Rhoda to be able to bring her through to the deliverance that her heart seek concerning the cigarettes. Father, deal with her in the emotional realm, in the carnal realm, so that she's able to become stronger than this. Grant her the ability to win. So you know exactly how to pray. So that's why I said talk about the weaknesses that's there, not to expose you. But if you're not willing to talk about it, you are already exposed. You are already exposed, and you in trouble, because it ain't not one of us here that's perfect. It's not. It's not one of us here that ain't got something. I said the other day, I said, I'm going to stop this cussing. I cussed Lee Bree last night. I called myself, I said, God, please, Lord Jesus, forgive me. you know, so,
That's right,
it's just the truth. I mean, hey, it is what it is, man. I live in the truth. So.
One thing about what you were saying, I remember I was talking to you about, I said, man, people just assume that, one guy don't even know me at work, how he would come in and say she high maintenance or whatever. And that bothered me for him to say it. And one thing that you said to me is, well, Toya, sometimes when people do stuff, you just turn it down. And normally, whether it be a gift or whatever, because you're fitting into something like when somebody, for instance, like somebody buying a gift for me, I'm simple. I don't care. It's just the thought that count. But then people are so assumed by the things on the outside that I'm just high maintenance to a certain degree or whatever. And so when you said, well, sometimes you was like, I like it, but now you take that back. And I've always was taught tradition. When somebody give you something, you take it. So it made me sit around and just think about different things. Like, okay, it's okay to say, no, I don't want that. I don't want to do that. And even with me just taking that step, it looks like a small step, but really it's a big step because you portray and people assume one thing, so they try to fit into what they assume. And when you actually let them know how it is, then that pushes them back to really accept you for who. Because a lot of times it's like you're trying to fit into what people portray you as. I'm just speaking for myself.
But see, that's
I'm glad she.
Go ahead, Candace.
I'm glad she said that because I have, people, have, say things that about me or whatever. But I look at it as I have to, speaking for myself, I can only speak for myself. I have to show and teach people how to treat me. If I don't say, use for an example, it's some certain type of plates that I like. I like them elegant, nice plates. So if I'm getting rid of some old plates because I don't want that certain plate to make me feel that I don't, how can I put it? Like, I just don't like the plate. I don't like it. I like my nice, elegant plates. So therefore, that's what I want to be able to see and I want to serve myself out of. So if I'm drinking some water, if I want to sit there and drink water out of my wine glass, that's me. I have to show people how to and help teach people how to treat me because if not, they'll just give me anything. Don't just put some that's even with gifts. If I want something nice, I'm going to give out something nice to them too. But just don't it make it seem like, okay, I'm just going to give her anything. Put some thought in it. It's how you represent them with the gift or even getting them. Just don't come up and just give somebody just because you think that's what they like or just want. Are you following me?
Mhm. Mhm.
Because some people would do that, just give you this because they think that's what you want, or this is not. No, take the initiative time to learn really what they like, and if it's a little more, if that's what you want to choose to give them a little more or put into it, do just that. It shouldn't the price of it or whatever shouldn't even justify or shouldn't matter. Give them what they like and they deserve.
Mhm. Toya, Toya pulling from